job. You've made time for us today. You have to start your work shift in less than 45 minutes, but we're going to try to cover everything. But that's what this is about. It's about how you fit it all in and still achieve these goals. How do you take care of all of your other responsibilities and attend to daily survival, but still compete as a Rimpage athlete? For our viewers, would you share a player's perspective, having competed in high school and in college and in pros, and now as a Rimpage athlete? Could you share what the difference is between the two?
Yeah. So with high school, being an athlete, like in high school or teams in general, yeah, it's like you there's strings attached. And it's like, you're under, I wouldn't say under control, but it's like you have to, meet the expectations of coaches, other players. You have a responsibility not just for yourself, but as well as others around you. So they're relying on you. They're like depending on you. Whereas with Rampage, it's like you're dependent on yourself. There's no strings attached to anyone else but yourself. So it's like at the end of the day, like you're determining where you're gonna go, like what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. And you're not under anybody. You don't have to worry about anybody watching over you. You're responsible for what the outcome is gonna be. And you have to plan it out the way that you want to. You have to schedule it when you want to. And it just takes discipline for yourself. It's not easy, but at the end of the day, I can't blame nobody but myself. So that's how I look at it. It's challenging. You get to challenge yourself. You don't have to worry about coaches giving you a yes or a no, or hearing no, no, no. Like, no, it's like, yes, you can do it, but are you going to do it? You have to tell yourself that and ask yourself that. So you are your coach. You are, the player that you got to rely on, things like that.
Thank you. Now, I want to list some of your accomplishments before I ask this next question. So you're the number one ranked player in Dallas. You've won, you've played 245 matches. You've won 243. You were undefeated in all of 2024, which is it's mind-blowing that you're undefeated through a whole year, 133 matches, 99% winning percentage. Your efficiency is 1.3. Perfect efficiency is 1. You're at 1.3, which means
So
you average a score every time you touch the ball. Your supremacy score, 67.07. You're the first rim pace player to score 1,000 points. So you opened up the 1,000 point club. You opened up the 2,000 point club. Just recently, you opened up the 3,000 point club. You have your 100 win star, your 200 win star. 30 times you've shut out your opponents. 16 times you've knocked them out. You played in high school. You played in college. You played in the pros. And I'm sure no one who saw you play on those teams knew you had this in you. It took a platform like Rimpage to show the world who this guy is because they didn't know the Ashton that we all know today. Can you talk a bit about that?
nah, that's a great point, Patrick. Um, wow. I mean, just even hearing you say it, I'm like, I'm amazed. Like I can't like I'm excited, but I'm like, wow. But no, I mean that's a great point because people in high school, if we're being honest, they did doubt me. So I'm pretty sure nobody at that time saw that in me. And sometimes you don't know your actual full potential. Looking back on it, like I believe that I would get somewhere, but I know others as far as coaches, other players and just people in general didn't see that. I knew that it was in myself, but not to this point. So it's like this situation just goes to show if you stay the course and just keep going, you can achieve and do anything. I didn't have these skills nor talent
Uh-huh.
that I have now at that point in time. Man, just looking back on it, you're amazed at how you can grow, the things you can do. You just have to not worry about anyone else's approval. You
Uh-huh.
just have to just look in yourself and believe and see that vision and make it come to life. I wasn't that player then,
Yeah.
but it was always within me. And
Yeah.
it took me to realize I can do it. And I think Rimpage is a prime example of that because it's like it's a you versus you thing. Most people give up when people tell them no, you can't, or they don't see this in you. But it's a reminder like you have to see that in yourself and you have to keep going even when it's difficult, even when you're not even at your peak. And that's what that
Wow.
situation reminded me of.
Well, Katharina, you're the player performance coach. What is your impression of Ashton?
Thank you, Patrick. It's incredible, and I'm so glad that you touched upon something that you said. Couple of things actually. First one was with nobody is pulling your strings, you know. Apart from you need to pull your strings because when no one is challenging you, you have to challenge yourself. And I want to ask you, is that a harder challenge? What does the person need to have inside themselves to be the one challenging themselves? Because I see a lot of the time that we are relying on someone else to drive us towards our goal, even to set our goals in life.
Hmm.
But you don't do that. You pull your own strings. So, what is it inside you? What do you recognize as that driving power?
I would say that hunger, that drive. An example, like I didn't physically, I would say even mentally at that point in time, I didn't necessarily feel it, but I had to remind myself, I had to push myself, I had to come with that mentality, that hunger, as if, I have nothing to eat on the table.
Mhm.
And that day that I did those 20 matches, I didn't expect myself to do it, but I pushed myself. After that one match, I was like, okay, let me keep going. What can I do? Like, okay, let me keep pushing myself. Let me try the next match. Let me keep asking until I get tired. And it's kind of crazy. It's because like after every match, it's like I kept getting hungrier. Not in the way of greed, but like just want to become better for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Mhm.
wanted to become better. I wanted to challenge myself. Like you said, Katharina, I wanted to challenge myself and see what I can do different. But
Mhm.
that's gonna help me grow, get better, improve as an athlete, not and not just on the court, but even off the court, because that mentality can take you a lot of places
Yeah.
in life. That's kind of how I viewed it, and I was kind of like I was proud of myself in that situation because this is something I've never done before, but it made me realize what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know now, like I want to do it even better. Like I want to go
Mm.
even 10 times harder. Like whatever I got to do to get even better, get uncomfortable,
Uh-huh.
like have that hunger, that drive, I got to do it.
Yes.
I just got to do it.
I wanted to point another thing because I really don't want anyone to miss that in one-on-one, uh, the opponent isn't the other person. The opponent is you. You said that so well, and here you are proving again that, and you're proving it, Ashton, not with your words, but you're proving it by reaching every next goal you set for yourself. So you can imagine my excitement now before you ask him what his next goal is. Because I know that we're going to be following the journey that actually will take you to the desired outcome.
The time has come, Ashton, and I'm excited to hear this. Will you please share with us what is your next goal that you're going to accomplish, that you're going to shoot for?
Yeah, so 30 days from today, I want to reach 300 wins and reach that next milestone. So I want to do that. But something crazy, like I've been thinking about lately, and it played a part in the last one, is that just to give you a little hint, like everything sometimes can come with a plot twist, and I'm gonna just leave
Okay.
it with that.
Okay.
So,
Oh.
so that's where I'm gonna leave it because I don't wanna just use words and speak it like I'm all about my actions and letting
Okay.
that play a big part. So the goal is to get to 300 wins 30 days from now.
So here we are. 30 days from now, you want your 300 win stars. Can you tell us a little bit about your daily routine and what you think your obstacles? You played 20 matches in one day. I can imagine what would stand in your way, but just kind of give us an idea of what your daily routine is and what challenges you think lie ahead.
Yes, so wake up in the morning, get ready for work, get prepared. I head to work. But while I'm like at work, I think of ideas and ways that like I can accomplish some of the tasks I have or the goals that I have. And even then, when I'm at work, I'm working. So, meaning like you have to make time for yourself. You know, you have to like not in a selfish way, but you can't just invest time into others. You have to also invest it into yourself because that's the only way you're going to truly grow and even help others. So I do that with my brand, whether it's like content making, things like that. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but
Uh-huh.
I just kind of balance it out in a way, and, which I have time and, make it happen. And then, once I'm done with the work shift, um, I go to the gym, whether I'm tired or not. It's not easy, but again, you have to balance it out. I go to the gym. I try to, stretch, get me a workout in, put up a couple shots. I run a few runs, like a 5v5, and then, I find players to challenge and, kind of go from there.
Mhm.
Um, but I also want to get a bit more uncomfortable in the midst of this, like, this goal and this journey. I just want to kind of like see what I could do differently. Even if that means getting up extra early to kind of get that extra work in. So,
Yeah.
it's not an easy task at all. I want to tell people out there this is not easy. You have to learn to balance it out.
Mhm.
But the question is, do you want to live with regret? And that's what I always ask myself. Like, no, I don't want to be like, I coulda, shoulda, woulda. No, I want to make sure I do. It's done.
I put out a video recently where I told the story of the two lions. Could you tell me how that affected you and what you got from that story?
Yeah. So I saw the difference between the two lions. One was like in the zoo. Pretty much to sum it up, it seemed like one of the lions were handed, things. The other one had to work for it. And that shows the difference in the mentality you have. Do you expect it to be handed to you, or do you want to work for it? Do you want to go hunt for it, go get it? Because honestly, that lion that was hungry, that had to work for it, that had to do what it took to just get that victory and feel like, they did something, they accomplished something. Like they had to get uncomfortable, they had to go hunt, they had to find ways because it was never easy. But in the long run, like they appreciate it and they took a lesson from it. They were able to grow from it and find ways, to develop and improve. Whereas the other line is just like relaxed, comfortable, stagnant, not, not getting anywhere, not able to learn, not able to grow. You explaining that video helped me realize the things that I do that sometimes I don't realize I do. I come in with a camera. I come in with that mentality, hungry, knowing like, okay, who's ever on this camera, like, I gotta make sure I show them like how bad I want it. Like, I got something to prove each and every time I walk in the gym with that camera, like, and knowing that like, okay, this is gonna be documented, like you said is going to be something I'm going to look back on. That to me is very important. Even when you brought up the Prince, like he has so many, tapes and so many things that people haven't even discovered. But it's like that goes to show like his work ethic and the things that he did, the mentality he had, and you know, just was never settled. Always just find ways to be creative and try to find ways to, just keep growing and improve as an artist. And that's the difference with the hunter's mentality. Like you got to go out there and go get it. It's not going to be handed to you. And that's why I pretty particular.
Is that what you would say to the other players that we're going to be following in this docuseries, or do you have a message for them or any advice for them or any new athletes? Like Ephraim is a new Rimpage athlete who's just starting out. What would you say to new athletes?
Come in ready to go. Come in hungry. Um, do as much as you can while you can. Tomorrow isn't promised, number one. So don't take life nor time for granted ever. Like I think we get too comfortable and think, oh well, I can do this tomorrow or next week or I'll worry about this later. No, do it. Act now. Like act like there's no time left. Act like you have no food on the table. Like you have to go get something. You have to go hunt for something.
Yeah.
Like have that mentality every time and look where it'll take you. You'll see where it'll take you. This is why I'm at the point that I'm at now. Not to brag and boast, but because I feel like I've had that mentality And I overlook that sometimes, but looking back on it, and when you guys bring it up, it makes me appreciate it more. It makes me like feel like, okay, I've done that. Now what can I do better? You're gonna motivate yourself each and every time. You don't have to rely on others or people telling you to go get it. No, you're gonna tell yourself. You're gonna push yourself each and every time as you gradually grow.
And Katerina, as the player support performance coach, you have any words for Ashton or the other players who are starting out?
Sure. It is hard to give Ashton advice because he is so self-motivated. But I will say that we have to, in life, in order to reach our purpose and our biggest goals and our mission, to meet with the mission of our life, we have to be mindful that we are in the present moment and that we are feeling joy on this unfolding journey. Yes, because it has to feel good. It has to feel good while you're doing it. If it doesn't feel good, if this is something, just a hard sacrifice that you're making yourself do, you're punishing a part of yourself, that the future you will not thank you for, or that you're punishing the future version of you, because you can't live to enjoy life to that tomorrow that isn't promised to ourselves, right? And when I say enjoy life, you are finding that purpose within every goal that you set for yourself. You're finding that purpose in the gym, just being present there and having joy. Well, this is unfolding of my dream. I will be able to discover how far can I take this.
Well, if we stop now, we give you 10 minutes to prepare for your work shift. I really appreciate you doing this, and I'm excited to see what you do, man,
Yes.
with this challenge. So, all right,
Yes.
Ashton, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you all for joining us,
Awesome.
and we'll be checking in.
See you
Thank you.
in the
Take care.
next update, right?
Yes.
That's a
Yeah.
week from now.
Uh-huh.
You take care.
Y'all as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ashton.